Think about the day after this win at Florida State, a team that within the last 10 years had won a national championship. Just a dream scenario. You're like, Joe, you've had to be thinking like, you dude, I was in high school just a couple months ago. Now I'm coming out here. This is unbelievable, man. I can't believe my dreams are coming true. You take him from this moment all the way up until he gets injured, gets taken off the field, and they cheer. Not like, good, oh, good for you. Like, yeah, we had our backup in the game. It had to have broken his heart. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be updated on all things EA College Football and watch plenty of college football content, subscribe to this channel right now. I also do plenty of Madden and Pro Football videos as well. Please subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. All it's going to cost you is being updated on all things EA College Football, plenty of college football content, and more Pro and Madden content as well. Like the button, hit the like button, share, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, guys, so I have been doing my best in between the weeks here watching college football. So far, it's been a great season. There's a lot of cool little storylines going around the country, and especially up from the top down from the bottom. I actually had a post yesterday. A lot of you guys were commenting on. There was a lot. I mean, there's so many storylines that I missed. Remember, if you fill out a poll, you're only able to have 5 things. There was like 8 or 9 different things that could have gone on there. That being said, there is one thing that is very close and near and dear to my heart. As you can see, I am a Boise State football fan. And I really want to show you a preseason projection for the Mountain West all-conference teams to show you, give you precedent for what was expected from this season and show you what actually is happening this season. Let's go. So here we are on athlonsports.com, the Mountain West Football 2022 All-Conference Team. Steve Lassen, June 2nd of 2022, kind of breaks this down. It comes down here, first team Mountain West offense. We're going to go through all 3 of these quarterbacks because I think it's really interesting to see what's happened to all 3 of them. First team, Jake Haener, Fresno State, really, really good. Won at UCLA last season, very, very good quarterback. So like I said, first team, Jake Haener. Second team, Logan Bonner, Utah State Mountain West champs from the season before. Very, very good. Comes over from Arkansas State, goes to Utah State, wins the Mountain West his first season there. And then the third team is, of course, my boy, Hank Bachmeier, Boise State. So I want to come off the camera really quickly here because we need to talk about all 3 of these guys. Now, football is more about the quarterback than other positions, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not the only position out there. Now, I do think, though, it's very important to remember here with these 3 quarterbacks, you can definitely see that expectations and reality for the Mountain West this season have not come to pass in terms of what you would want to see. We'll start off with Jake Haener. So Jake Haener actually been able to play pretty well. Cal Poly played well. He played well against Oregon State too. They ultimately lost on a last-second touchdown run up the middle for 4th and goal. They went for the win. They got it. And then he went out against USC. Huge USC fan. Grew up loving USC. Played on that field. And eventually you see here, this article down here, was carted off with an ankle injury. Now they do have a bye week. And it is not a season-ending injury. You'll see that here in this article here. It says that Jeff Tedford said that it is not a season-ending injury. He is going to be week to week with a high ankle issue. First of all, let's just make sure we're clear. A high ankle sprain is something that lingers on. That's going to continue to be there throughout the season. So he might be able to play, but he's not going to be as mobile as he was before. Now, you see the fact that he's injured just before, again, they had a bye week this last week. They play at UConn, which isn't going to be necessarily too tough of a game. And then they start their conference games. They play at Boise State. They play San Jose State at New Mexico. He's more likely to miss these games as opposed to these later ones. Again, like I said, he is expected to play. That high ankle issue isn't going away. So you take that into account. The favorites, a lot of people had the favorites as Fresno State for this next season, or this current season we're in right here. Injures himself, kind of throws the season off. The season is at least in flux right now. Again, they still have a really, really good team, but definitely not going to be as explosive as they were or they could have been had Haener been healthy. The next one here is Utah State. So again, Utah State, this is from collegefootballnews.com. They had the projection here for them to be at 7.5 wins through this season. So again, 8 or 12 games. They're projected to be, is the cutoff is like, are they going to win 8? Are they going to win 7? That's kind of where the line is. However, Utah State is having a really rough go this season. So like I said before, Logan Bonner, he was the second team quarterback, but you see the fact they are able to win, beat UConn. They lose to Alabama. Again, that's a tough one. They lose to Weber State, a not superstar team in the Big Sky Conference of the FCS. They lose to UNLV for the first time in a long time. And then they look at their schedule here. They play at BYU and then home against Air Force. They very well, going into this Colorado State game, could be looking at 1-5. That is... Now, I know it softens up a little bit down here towards the end. There's this 4-game stretch right here where it goes at Colorado State, at Wyoming, New Mexico at home, and at Hawaii. These are 4 reasonable games, or a lot more reasonable games that they can win. However, like I said, money is, if I had to put money on it, I would say they're going into this Colorado State game 1-5 after being projected. Remember, they won the Mountain West last year, and they're just off to a really rough start this season. And then last but not least, my Boise State Broncos, who, man, it has been rough. So this happened just the other day here, a day after disheartening loss to UTEP. Boise State fires offensive coordinator Tim Plow less than 24 hours after losing to UTEP and dropping to 2-2 on the season. Boise State head coach Andy Avalos announced on Saturday that he's fired offensive coordinator Tim Plow. Plow will be replaced by Dirk Cutter, who has been a head coach in college in Boise State and Arizona State, and in the NFL with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was an analyst. He was hired, again, he was brought in as an analyst, and then kind of told, all right, why don't you just step into this spot? His son is also on the team as well. In a 27-10 loss to the Miners. Remember, this Miners team lost to New Mexico, a team that Boise State beat. But it was crazy. Bachmeier was like 13 for 34 for 90-something yards or something like that. It was a horrible, horrible offensive game. The UTEP Miners were on the field for 40 minutes because Boise State's offense could not get on the field. It's a heavily favored. Broncos struggled. Bachmeier, like I said, 13 for 34, 93 yards. I'm pretty accurate there. And then they finished with 84 yards rushing and 177 yards of total yards. He's just, man, it was definitely a rough day there. Now, I want to make sure we're clear about something, because something happened to Hank Bachmeier as well that started the seeds of this happening a little bit earlier here. So Boise State was able to beat UT Martin, and again, an FCS team, a solid FCS team, but an FCS team. They come out there and they beat UT Martin. However, a big issue in this game was late in the game, I want to say third or fourth quarter, Bachmeier gets hurt and he gets taken off the field. He's hurt. Well, Taylon Green comes on the field. Now remember, injured quarterback walking off the field, injured preseason third-team All-Mountain West quarterback walking off the field, and backup quarterback walking on the field, and everybody erupts with cheers. It was one of the grossest moments of Boise State football I've ever been a part of. I want to make sure we're clear about this. I was a part of it, meaning I was there. I was not cheering. And I'll guarantee you, the thing about Boise, I guarantee you this, you will never be able to find a single fan who says, yep, I was cheering as Hank Bachmeier was getting taken off the field. You'll never find one. They'll chicken out on there because Boise State's got a lot of nice people in it. But J.L. Skinner had posted this. J.L. Skinner, we're going to say, pro prospect safety on the team right here. He says to Bronco Nation, don't ever do this again. That was very disrespectful. We ride with who's in, win or loss. Great win, though. And again, they beat the Skyhawks. But again, that had kind of put a bad taste in Hank Bachmeier's mouth. He was the senior quarterback coming out on the field. He's going to lead his team to victory. He did eventually lead his team to victory, but he gets injured, and Boise State their fans are so spoiled to the fact that they're going to have this star quarterback out there that, again, they blamed it on him. He gets off the field, and they go, Taylon Green, the backup, comes on the field, and they start cheering for him as he's getting injured and getting off the field. It was one of the more gross things I've ever experienced. I'd love to hear if you guys ever have any experiences with your own fan bases on things that are gross, because this one was just gross, and it led partially to this. So right here from One Bronco Nation Under God, it says multiple outlets confirm Hank Bachmeier is entering the transfer portal. And again, this happened just the other day. So think about this, man. Put yourself in Hank Bachmeier's shoes. This right here is one of the first games he ever played. 2019, Tallahassee, Florida, in the Panhandle. It was supposed to be in a neutral site in Jacksonville, and then because of hurricane, it got moved to a neutral site in Doak Campbell, where Florida State plays its home games. I was at this game. It was miserable. It was hot. They got down early. They were down to like 21 to 3 or 21 to 6 really early. Slowly came back behind a true freshman quarterback, Hank Bachmeier. He had to be riding high on this. Think about the day after this win. Goes down to Florida State, hurricane moves the game, comes over here, you get down early and this and that, and you're able to slowly come back and win at Florida State, a team that within the last 10 years had won a national championship. This was just a dream scenario. You're like, Joe, you had to be thinking like, dude, I was in high school just a couple months ago. Now I'm coming out here. This is unbelievable, man. I can't believe my dreams are coming true. You take him from this moment all the way up until he gets injured, gets taken off the field, and they cheer. Not like, good, oh, good for you. Like, yeah, we got our backup in the game. It had to have broken his heart, and I don't blame him for transferring, and good luck wherever he goes. He only played in 4 games this season, so he still has this season, and he has 1 year because of COVID year. So, good luck to Hank wherever he goes, man. I feel bad. I feel really icky about that moment just because I was there. I mean, one of my friends who was sitting next to me is like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hope that Taylor hurts himself somehow now because I want these fans to eat what they just did. It was really, really gross. Now, to be fair, it's not all bad in the Mountain West. Now, I know I said basically the first team quarterback, the second team quarterback, and the third team quarterback all have their own issues. One's injured, the other's having a horrible year, and the other isn't even on his team. Now, I will say one thing. UNLV, who I have been talking a lot of trash on because UNLV is the annoying rich kid with a really cool pool. You don't really like him, but you go over his house to hang out at the pool. Again, UNLV in conference realignment talks has been brought up a lot. They play where the Raiders play at Allegiant Stadium. It's a big market, but they've just never really applied themselves in football. They are very quietly off to a 3-1 start and had a very close loss to Cal. I know Cal's nothing great, but if you look at this year, first of all, they got New Mexico at home. They end with at Hawaii and Nevada at home. They could very well get to 6 games to a bowl win. I'm telling you right now, that is surprising. They do have a really tough 5-game stretch here at San Jose State. In conference road game could be tough. Hawaii is not as tough. No offense, Hawaii. Air Force is a tough game. At Notre Dame is going to be tough. At San Diego State is going to be tough. And then Fresno State at home. But it looks like Haener could be back by this game and hopefully got a couple of games under his belt. But again, UNLV, surprising a lot of people, behind the legs of a big old running back. Aiden Robinson comes over from Louisville, 6'3", 230 pounds, and you can definitely tell that UNLV wins one way. They give the ball to you, big old boy Aiden. He's big, he's tough, he's physical. He is a man out there. I'm telling you, surprisingly, UNLV, and we're going to see the preseason projections for the Mountain West. UNLV is coming out of nowhere. Do I think they're going to win the conference? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I still think we're probably looking at a San Diego State, just because they're used to winning ugly, a San Diego State versus Air Force Conference Championship, something like that. But UNLV, you can't ignore them, man. So look at this here, man. So Boise State was projected to finish first, and I think that was just based off reputation. They do not look like that right now. Firstly, I have no idea what to expect of their offense. Jake Haener, quarterback, is injured right here. San Jose State has lost to a 1-win Arizona team. I know they've got a lot of things changing there, but they're so far 2-2. They did have a win at Toledo this last week. Air Force has already got a loss to at Wyoming. For some reason, they can't play at Wyoming. Utah State has fallen off a cliff. Colorado State is 0-4. Wyoming's got is 3-2. So they're doing all right. Hawaii is not doing great. Nevada is not doing great. Nevada lost to Incarnate Word. UNLV, I'm telling you right now, UNLV is showing me a little bit of something. 3-1, surprising there. But you can definitely tell that what we expected the Mountain West to be this season, so far as we get into the more of the brunt of conference play, they really have under-delivered. So let me know right now, guys. Am I being way too hard on the Mountain West? I just feel like, man, because there's so many times that, you especially with conference realignment, a lot of people are talking about adding this team, adding that team. Last season, it was kind of unique because, UCF, BYU, Cincinnati, and Houston all had pretty good seasons as they were entering the Big 12, and now you're hoping that this next crop of the G5 teams that could be taken, San Diego State's probably up there, Fresno State wants to be in there, UNLV wants to be in there, Boise State wants to be in there, I know Colorado State is interested in being there, are really just not off to hot starts so far this season. So now I know things will turn around. Obviously, you get into conference play. We'll see what happens with Boise State. I have no idea. If Boise State went 6-6, if they went 9-3, I wouldn't be surprised either way. I have no idea what the hell to expect. But what's your guys' impressions of the Mountain West so far this season? Are you disappointed? Are you like, I kind of expected that? What are your thoughts right now? Get in the comments right now and let me know. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. See you guys later. I am out.